Oleg, can you hear me? Open your eyes. Oleg, again, put some pressure on there. Squeeze the back of his arm, pinch. Tell him, open your eyes.
I've got no arms.
No, I'm actually pinching.
That's the catastrophic bleeding.
Yeah, this is a catastrophic bleed. So that's okay. They're not responding. They're unconscious. It doesn't mean, oh well, that's it. We just go. We just need to look at other things. We would look at them. Are you kneeling in blood? Are their limbs missing? If there are, then possibly it's catastrophic bleed. But we'll just assume this person is in a normal condition. So the next thing we move on to then is the airway. And this is what we talked a lot about this morning, and it's really very early on the most important bit of first aid, because if they can't breathe through this passage, then they're going to die. So we have to make sure there's room for the air to get in and out. When we think about this passage, at the moment, with somebody on their back, like this, unconscious, we will assume they will die. So for you, take away from here, if you leave someone unconscious on their back, they will die, because their airway will be blocked. After 3 or 4 minutes, they start to go downhill. If I do this method of opening her airway, this lifting the chin, lifts that tongue, where does all the blood go? Down, maybe some to her stomach, but some down into her lower airway. So what's important to do before we start opening, either tipping the head up or sort of lifting the jaw, is have a look in the mouth first, see if there's anything in there. It might be blood, it might be, if you hit your face, people have their teeth knocked down, people quite often bite into their tongue, they bite off sections of their tongue. It could be anything in anybody's mouth, it could be vomit, if somebody's been sick. So we look in here, if we see some object in there, we need to get it out. Now they used to teach to, when you find the casualty, oh, can you hear me? And then go, and sort of see what came out. But all that happened was people poked things further down into their airway and made them choke. Or, if you don't know where their choke reflex is and you stick your finger in there and they're not, and they actually makes them sick, so you create a problem. So now what we say is when you find them, just have a look.
Can they bite?
They can also bite, yeah. So nothing, don't, generally the same when we come back to the epilepsy. That's why we've done another reason we don't.
Even unconscious?
Even unconscious, an instinctive reaction to bite down to stop foreign things. It's a good sign in a way because it means they're not dead. If they bite down, it means they're alive. So, have a look in the mouth. If you see some teeth, a bit of tongue, maybe a kid or someone got a sweet in their mouth or some lumps of vomit, we can hook it out. What if it's blood? Jackie this morning was on her back.
You should turn.
Just the head.
No, you should turn. Turn the body.
Turn the whole body. Yeah. Get hold of them. We're going to have a go in a little while. We'll have a roll around on the floor. But you need to turn them all on their side.
So you need to grab the leg and...
Yeah, we're going to do the recovery position.
Yeah, recovery position.
But ultimately, I don't care how you turn someone over, as long as you turn them over. If they're choking to death on their own blood, vomit, whatever it is, if you need to turn them over, because now gravity will allow the liquid to flow out of the mouth, so the blood and the vomit. We might need to give a little scoop to hook the bits down, but also don't forget now the tongue is your floppy muscle. That's now flopped forward. This is the same reason why we don't normally snore if we're laying on our side, because the tongue is forward, so air can pass freely over the back. Okay, so we do that. We could then, if we've had to turn the person over, if we turned Jackie this morning to check to see if she's breathing, we could do it on her side. Happy?
On which side?
As she is now. Can you check for somebody's breathing like this?
Just more, no? If their chest is rising and falling.
Yeah. Can you check to see if someone's breathing on their side?
No, it's possible. Why not?
Why not?
Because this is another thing in all first aid training. Casualties always like this. This, as you can tell, is designed to always be like that. So everyone always, they do this sort of looking, feeling in this position. But actually, if you found a casualty on their side, or even on their front, you can still check to see if they're breathing, because you just get your hands round, you need to get your ear down to the mouth to listen. You can do it. How long do we, when I'm down here now, the mouth's open. How long am I checking for?
A minute.
10 seconds.
10 seconds, correct. How many times should you breathe in 10 seconds?
At least 2.
At least 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. We don't breathe. We breathe and we rest your body. You don't continually breathe, you normally rest a bit and you another breath. So you should hear at least 2, probably 3, maybe 4 normal breaths. And the guidelines state, if you're going to do CPR, you're listening for normal breathing. That's all it says is normal breathing. So you know, you've all been alive for a number of years, you know what's normal breathing because you do it all the time. So if Oleg comes and he listens to this casualty for 10 seconds and he heard the casualty go, you sort of, was that 2 breaths or not, or would you?
1.5.
Yeah, what would you do? Is that, are they breathing or not?
When you do CPR, you still have to actually...
Не засни только.
Only when you do breaths. We'll do that, I'll come to that in a minute. Remember that question. Okay, this is my stunt double. Okay. So, what I want you to do in a minute is just think about this danger. Hello, can you hear me? Open your eyes. Dylan likes it when I hold his hand. Okay, and I said if you can hear me, squeeze my hand. Nothing.
Ну ответь хоть
It's
что-то.
very kind of that kind of floppy,
Заснул
unconscious.
таки.
Generally you feel. I might give him a pinch. Nothing happens. Okay, so I need to look in his mouth. Nothing in his mouth. If there was blood or vomit, I would turn him, but there isn't. So then I tip his head up. Now because he's conscious and just he's probably holding his head, but there's a chance.
We can knock him out, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the potential the head might move. Just keep an eye so we keep checking. Okay. And it doesn't matter, don't worry about putting things under here, don't worry, just keep that under there. Now I can get my ear down here.
Так дышит, мы знаем.
It's more than 10 seconds, isn't it?
Well, he's breathing. 3 breaths. Happy? He's breathing normally. I couldn't hear anything, but I could feel and I could see that moving. But 10 seconds is actually longer than you think when you check. So don't be afraid to give it a good 10 seconds. Okay, so he is breathing, so I'm not going to do CPR on him. I'm going to go back to my stunt double in a minute. But what I want you to practice for now, in a minute we'll use the floor in there as well, so we've got plenty of space. Going from this position, I want you to go through that response up to checking for breathing, but making sure that you get this head tilt chin lift right. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we're also going to get you to practice the recovery position. Because if Dimit actually had blood, vomit in his mouth, I might decide I'm going to get hold of his hips and his shoulders and sort of pull him, but actually genuinely, it's quite hard. Depending on your size and the casualty size, it's actually quite difficult because they're a proper floppy dead weight. So, we move this arm out of the way. This is a good method if you physically struggle to turn someone over because they're big. So bring the knee up first, keep hold of it. If you let go of it, it's going to slide away. This hand comes around and on his face, and then we just pull on the knee, and over he goes. You can then adjust it if you want. Make sure it's open. I could now, if I'd found him in here, he's collapsed, maybe a heart attack or whatever, but I haven't got my phone, I need to ring for help from the hotel. If I left him on his back, ran to the hotel, made the phone call, ran back, 3 minutes, dead. So I would turn him on his side before I went. Okay? Thanks, good. So,